Oh, we are back this lovely Wednesday where it's snowing outside.
Mm.
You know, some people in our region are supposed to get. They were like, we're not talking inches, we're talking feet." And I'm like, "Yeah."
Mm.
Until it happens, I don't believe it, but it was snowing pretty good earlier.
Yeah,
Um, so
I almost died in a car accident in my 1 block commute from
yeah,
work.
that's I think what people need to understand is like for me when I go to work, a couple days a week when I have to leave the house to go to work. Um, I'm driving to South Bend, Mishawaka, Elkhart,
Sometimes Chicago.
sometimes Chicago. Yes, it is true. To do things, I'm like driving all over the place. This guy Trevor
Mm.
drives 1 block, not
I
even.
drive, takes
What is
about
it?
20 seconds to get to
I
work.
was about to say. Yeah, it takes you no time at all.
No.
Creepy photos, this gentleman.
No.
Welcome back. Welcome back. Yeah, so from the title of this video, of course, transfer portal stuff. The portal closes Friday, officially, but for teams still in the playoff like Miami and Indiana, if their players want to transfer after the season, they have another window that opens up just for them.
Mm.
But majority ends on Friday. Slowly starting to figure some things out where guys are going. There's still some top guys out there. We'll get into that. Notre Dame was quiet. People were a little, you gotta trust the process. Got to trust the process. And turned out to be a really good class. May have another kid coming, so we'll talk about that. But first, we'll jump in with the NFL stuff. A lot of news, a lot of coaching vacancies. Wait, dude, a kid broke a sink today at school. What?
That was yesterday, and there was a video taken of it. Initially, we had gotten reports that this student was just leaning on the sink. But from what I saw in this video, student was full butt cheeks on the sink,
Oh, nice,
legs off the ground.
nice.
We're not talking about a little guy. And in the video, you just see him sitting on that sink, and then the sink just
Snaps.
collapses. Yeah.
Wow,
So yes,
wow,
yeah. Yesterday there
wow.
was a sink incident at
A lot
the.
going on in Cass schools.
Yeah.
If you know,
Well,
if you
so
know, you know.
I will tell you one thing. There's nothing grosser than a middle school boys' bathroom.
Yeah, it's probably pretty gross. Did water shoot everywhere? Or no.
No, so it's not like screwed in to the wall. It's like slid onto something. Like it's like connected to something that
Oh, so
slides
the
on.
pipes didn't break.
No, it's just the thing that it slides onto fell off.
See, I
And
would I would love to have the pipes breaks. That kid would have got soaked.
yeah, yeah,
I mean,
yeah,
that would have been funny. I mean, that's just what I wanted. Would want.
yeah.
Nolan says Caleb a little off topic. It was Freeman's press conference. Didn't get to see it. We'll talk about that when we go to the transfer portal stuff at the end of the show. I'll talk about his press conference because he had some interesting stuff to say. He's saying send it to Caleb. I mean, send it to me, and then he wants me to send it to him.
Or
Jonathan,
did he send you the video that he now has acquired from his son Jaden Foster, who is in 6th grade?
okay, so I guess he has the video. So he send it to you, Caleb. All right, he did. I think. Oh, it's on TikTok.
Oh no!
Okay. Luke Coxey says at Nolan Mark he will have
Yeah.
to serve some jail time for. That's not at all what happened. He started out with. Okay, I will say that. He did start out with that. You know what? Screw it. We'll just go over the whole press conference right now. Get it done. Well, that's on my mind. I'm thinking about it.
Go
So
ahead.
he started out by talking about it, thanking the police agencies, Penn, Harris, Madison, coaches and administrators there. Um, Nothing happened other than him trying to protect his child, basically. He never pushed anybody, never laid hands. The video, I don't even know how you even filed a police report based off the video that was shown. And supposedly, allegedly, the guy told investigators that he was trying to get money from Freeman. So this whole thing is just nuts.
So wait, what was? I didn't see the video. What happened in the video?
So basically, somebody was like going at Freeman's kid, like verbally. And so Freeman basically stepped in and was like, hey, whatever. They got his son out of the gym, basically he was just protecting his kid.
Yeah.
So nothing happened on the video. That's like nothing.
Why
happened.
would you, dude? That's like the last dude on the planet I'd want to mess
Well,
with.
he was trying to get him for battery, is what he said. Alleged that he assaulted him by battery. Never touched him. Never even laid a finger on him. Freeman did call out a local news organization here in the Michiana area for having the story first and not being very diligent to all the facts.
What do you mind saying? Which one?
I don't know exactly who it is.
Oh, okay.
I'm guessing the South Bend Tribune.
Ooh.
Because they had the story first. So I would guess them, but I don't know fully, so I'm not trying to get sued.
Yeah, allegedly.
Allegedly, or my assumption is, that it would be that. So that's kind of how he started it. You know, you also thank Notre Dame for having his back through the entire. Basically, he didn't do anything wrong. It was kind of one of those things that like was brought up because it was like Marcus Freeman this potentially, and then Monday it came out.
Well, dude,
charges against him.
You've been to some wrestling tournaments. You know how it gets, man.
Yeah, no.
There's some heated parents over there.
And then allegedly there was also this coach tried to get Marcus Freeman's son to go wrestle for him too, and he didn't. So I don't know if there was some stuff there back in the day. Marcus Freeman's wrestling son is he's going to Cornell to wrestle.
So that's what I heard. And that's like a legit wrestling school. Like they're good.
So, and he wrestles at Penn, so he's pretty good. So basically that was just them protecting their kid. And, you know, the local wrestling coach tried to blow it out of proportion, basically. It's basically
what a loser.
Good man, Caleb. Thank you. Pressing should be in jail. Like, yeah, okay. Yeah. I think that's why some people were like, oh, so no. So people had the story, brought it out Sunday. Everybody's like, what the hell is this? And then, you know, no charges were brought on Monday. And then, you know, he addressed his days. Yeah. So, I mean, he had a press conference basically just talking about the transfer portal, and he hadn't talked since their last game, basically. So it was just kind of that whole process. He addressed the NFL. Basically, he said that he's the head coach of Notre Dame. He said that he liked the NFL talk because that meant that he's doing a good job there.
Yeah,
he goes, no one was asking for me. He goes, that means something's wrong here.
Yeah.
And he did say that it is interesting to talk to some of the NFL teams. I thought this one was kind of odd, but I take it how I did. That he said it is nice to talk to NFL teams just to like get their mindset on things and experience and all that. So, and then somebody asked him again about it, and he was like, they were like, do you have interest in? He goes, I don't know anything about the NFL. And he goes, he goes, if that comes a long time from now in the future, but he goes, I don't like talking in the future. So he goes, I'm the head coach right now. So yeah, it seems like he's going to be at Notre Dame. And he also said that he can pretty much achieve everything he wants to in his coaching life at Notre Dame. So for the foreseeable future, I see him at Notre Dame.
That's a fair point. Notre Dame, and you know, like Michigan, Ohio State, LSU, those are like the coaching jobs that are, I would say, are equally as prestigious as being an NFL coach.
Well, and supposedly with the transfer portal, the way it's looking is Notre Dame's kind of academically getting some kids in that they maybe wouldn't have in the past. So it's more of those like, okay, like we're really trying to win with this guy and really trying to keep him around. So I don't know, maybe the NFL someday, but you know, he's still 41 years old. So, and like he said, he goes, I know nothing about the NFL. So, and then he talked about, someone asked him, they're like, oh, like when you were watching the Pop-Tart Bowl, were you like, oh, we're not playing in the Pop-Tart Bowl? He goes, I wasn't when we watched the Pop-Tart Bowl, but he goes, when I watched the first and second, third round of the playoffs, it was like, we didn't play. That sucks. So they still have no regrets about playing in the Pop-Tart Bowl. People are trying to, you know, get that out there. So that's basically the press conference. No one should be in jail for that creepy photo. Her name's in the white man. Like, maybe. You never know.
I mean, if we're taking Jonathan, get on it. I mean, this is kind of your job, is to put people in jail.
I mean, that's just a photo.
So
no, that was basically the Freeman press conference was just basically, you know, asked about NFL, asked about transfer portal, he wasn't asked about the situation. He kind of talked about it first, and then nobody really asked. So, you know, it's one of those things. Out of my jurisdiction.
Dang it.
That's what they all say. So yeah, that was pretty much that. Now moving on to the NFL. This was big news yesterday. Mike Tomlin stepping down after 19 seasons as the Steelers head coach. Super Bowl 43 champions, a long time ago.
Many moons.
Was. He was 193 and 1 14-2. He had 2 ties in the regular season. Can you guess his postseason record?
Yes, I can. It's gonna actually be perfect. Should I guess He was there for like 20 years. Okay, he was 22-20.
Nope. He was 8-12.
Oh, I was way off.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Yeah.
I
I
mean,
think he's lost the last 7 playoff games he's been.
oh, I heard about that. Yes, I should have known. Yeah,
He's 8-12 in the postseason. He's never had a losing record, never in his career, which is pretty crazy. So I was thinking, oh, let me go look at the quarterbacks he's had since Ben Roethlisberger retired.
I'll play this game with you.
Because I was
How
like,
many are there?
let me get to it. So Big Ben retired in 2021.
And how many have there been since then?
So he's starting quarterbacks. He's had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Okay, Mason Rudolph.
Yep, that's 1.
Kenny Pickett.
Yep.
Rodgers.
Yep.
Russell Wilson.
Yep.
2 more. What? Why is no? Oh man, I might be stumped. Actually, go ahead. And
Justin Fields was also last year.
Justin Fields, yes.
And then the first one they had
after Big Ben,
Mitchell Trubisky.
I was gonna say, for some reason he was in my head. I should have gotten those.
That is what he's had to deal with, that quarterback.
Yeah, I mean, it's not even like a good.
No, that's what I'm saying. So people are like, "Oh, he's been bad in the playoffs." Look at the quarterbacks he's had as his starting quarterbacks since Ben Roethlisberger retired. So yeah, I mean, it's not been good for the way they've kind of constructed the team, I would say. So he's been good. He's a good coach. Doesn't look like he's going to coach next year. I will say. His contract's still for 2 more years, so the Steelers still have control of him the next 2 seasons. So if he were to go somewhere and coach, they'd have to give the Steelers something. But he did step down on his own. This was not a mutually parting ways.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that's the thing with this is it was his decision. I think the Steeler, the Rooney family, I think was kind of shocked when he came in and said, "Hey, I'm done," because they would have kept letting him coach. That's how the Steelers do it. I mean, they've had 3 coaches since
1969. Yeah, I just saw that.
So that's what they do. Chuck Noll, Bill Cowher, and Mike Tomlin, and all 3 have won a Super Bowl. So the Steelers are one of those organizations where it's not necessarily the coach, it's the organization.
They'll let it ride, baby.
Yeah. They get a young guy, young defensive mind, and they let him coach forever. That's their game plan. So I'm going to tell you what right now. They're going to hire a young defensive mind as their head coach.
Marcus Freeman. No, I'm just kidding.
Brian Flores.
Oh, okay.
That's what I think, because he was the defensive coordinator there for a minute. Will Howard taking over? ? Maybe. So that's the thing is they don't have a quarterback. So now we look at there's 9 job openings in the NFL. And it was kind of talked about the Aaron Rodgers basically just came to the Steelers to play for Mike Tomlin. So I'm pretty sure he's probably done. I thought he'd be done anyways. So now you have 9 job openings. You have the Cardinals, Giants, Falcons, Ravens, Steelers, Browns, Dolphins, Raiders, and Titans. And I told you before this, Zach Taylor keeps his job. And everybody else in his division gets fired. And he had 2 Hall of Fame coaches in his division, and he's still kicking.
Well, I will say this. I saw some clips of this, and I thought it was pretty disgusting the way that the Ravens owner was kind of talking about Jim Harbaugh.
You mean John?
John Harbaugh, sorry. Yeah. Basically, he said someone asked him if Tyler Loop had made that field goal, how long would John Harbaugh still be coaching? He was like a week. And then he was kind of joking around about Mike Tomlin coming to the Ravens. And I just thought, like, obviously you want to move on. But to sit up there and be like, oh, he would have coached for another week. Like he's fired regardless of what he does. Like, what if this dude would have taken you to the AFC Championship if he wins against the Steelers? I mean, what I'm getting at is that this dude gave you so many years and so much time, and then to just kind of laugh off at his departure and make a big kind of joke about it is pretty disgusting. This isn't an ownership that I would necessarily brag about. You've had Lamar Jackson for, I don't know, what 2019,
Yeah,
2020,
2018.
2018. You've had him for now going on, 7, 8, 9 years. You've built nothing around him. You've got Derrick Henry, who is, doing as much as he can, but is older version of Derrick Henry. You've given Lamar Jackson almost no weapons to put around him. And then when you're a Hall of Fame coach who has been with you, we talked about the Steelers, how many coaches they've had since 1970. The Ravens are not far behind. I think they may have had one more coach in that time.
Yeah.
So this is a guy who's done nothing but great things for the organization. And then for you to take his departure and kind of make a laughing joke about it, it was disgusting. I hope Lamar Jackson leaves. I hope Derrick Henry leaves. And I totally dislike the owner.
Well, he also fired him over the phone.
And I didn't know that.
Yeah, he fired him over the phone because he said that when he finally made the decision, John had already left the facility and was back home. And so he said, well, instead of telling him to come back, I just called him and said, hey, you're fired. And John's like, I appreciate, you calling me, whatever, blah, blah, blah. Like, it's fine. No, so here, this is my point I was going to bring up. The Steelers and the Ravens are very similar where it's like, it's the organization, not the coach. So the way that Steve Bisciotti looks at it as the owner of the Ravens is John Harbaugh has not been able to maximize Lamar Jackson. That's his thought process on it. Is we've given everything, we built the roster, we built the team for him. He's failed the roster that we've given him. So they believe, like the Steelers, doesn't matter who they get in as the coach, they're going to be successful because the ownership, the GM, everything is managed and aligned, and the organization's set up that we can just plug and play anybody. The Ravens are going to basically do what the Steelers. They're going to hire a young coach too. I guarantee Jesse Minter is going to be their coach. He'd been in the organization before in the Harbaugh tree from Jim Harbaugh at Michigan, now at the Chargers, defensive coordinator. He's young. Like, they're going to go with the same playbook. So that's their thought process. It doesn't matter who we get. John Harbaugh was a special teams coach for the Eagles when they hired him. So they just pick a guy who they think is good in the room, can kind of handle men. But, yeah, no, his thought process is like, look, we've given you everything and you failed.
Well, I will say too, if we replay back a year, that Ravens team was basically a catch away from moving on in the playoffs. If you remember, Mark Andrews drops the ball in the end zone.
Yep.
So I don't know. Maybe I'm being kind of like an old head about this, but when you have a guy for 20 years and then you're kind of laughing when you're at the podium talking about his departure, and firing him on the phone. Obviously, if he would have called him all the way back to Baltimore to fire him, we would have been like, couldn't this just been a phone call? But like, I don't know. I haven't seen a whole lot from this dude. I've just seen some things in the last couple of days. I haven't thought very highly of him recently. So I hope John Harbaugh, I don't know what's in his future. He's a great coach. He's going to be in the Hall of Fame. So hopefully he just continues to build upon his legacy. And maybe, actually, never mind. We don't need him. I was going to say he's going to be an Eagle again, but we don't need John Harbaugh.
So John Harbaugh with Joe Flacco as his quarterback from 2018, 2017 in the playoffs, he was 10-5 and won the Super Bowl.
Mm-hmm.
With Lamar Jackson since 2018 to 2025, he's 3-5 in the playoffs.
Joe Flacco was elite, brother.
So there's a little, you can take that how you want. John Harbaugh has more playoff wins. He's 13-11 in the playoffs than Mike Tomlin, who's 8-12. So
we also do have to remember for some of that time with Joe Flacco, they did have Ray Lewis and Ed Reed.
No, that's a fact. But it is interesting though. That he has Lamar Jackson, who's a 2-time MVP, and Joe Flacco, who's just comeback player of the year.
Mm-hmm.
So it is interesting to see that. But yeah, like I said, the Ravens and the Steelers have the same process. Like, it's the organization is what makes it churn. We get any kind of coach. It doesn't matter. So my guess is Brian Flores to the Steelers and Jesse Minter to the Ravens. They both go young, experience. Steelers need a quarterback first and foremost. Sounds like they're probably going to try and do that sometime in the draft or whatnot. I don't know who's that going to be or that type of thing. But yeah, I think, you look at the 9 jobs. Cardinals, awful, wouldn't touch it. Giants have a young core, but it's the Giants. The Falcons, other than trying to figure out the quarterback situation, if Michael Penix can stay healthy, or you have Kirk Cousins for another year, not a terrible job. Ravens, easily the best job on the list just because you do have Lamar Jackson. Steelers, you're older, but you believe in the organization. The Browns wouldn't touch it. Dolphins wouldn't touch it. Raiders, I wouldn't touch it unless you have the first overall pick.
I was gonna say
You
I
have the
would.
first overall pick.
That makes it a little bit more enticing to me.
So that's the only reason you want that. Titans is interesting to me because you do have a quarterback.
Yeah.
You have a new stadium coming in. You have ownership who's been successful in the past, a la Mike Vrabel. But when you are too successful there, it feels like you maybe get fired. So it'll be interesting. But 9 jobs open, and supposedly there may still be a team or two in the playoffs that maybe make a change.
Wow. Wait, let me think.
So,
well, also, since we're in the talks of,
I think there's one team in the playoffs. If they do not move on, they're going to fire their coach.
Okay, are we? No, we're not. Are we about to look at the NFL playoff thing? Okay. Yeah. So let me get. Ooh, is it Sean McVay?
No, it'd be Sean McDermott with the Bills.
Oh, okay.
It's what I kind of think that if the Bills do not move on here, I think that they're going to fire Sean McDermott.
So there was some kind of talks about that before the playoffs started, right?
Yes. If he wouldn't have beat the Jags, people thought he'd be fired.
Before we go into this, I will say, just so we can have a little recap of the last couple of days. One, I stand by basically everything I said last podcast, so we won't go over that again. But 2, I told Caleb before this podcast, I don't know if I would have cheered harder for an Eagles Super Bowl or Kevin Patullo to be fired. Kevin Patullo has been fired.
He's been demoted.
He's been demoted because he's Nick Sirianni's buddy. He is no longer the offensive coordinator.
Yes.
And that is amazing to us. So here's what I'm thinking. This would be awesome. My number 1 person for this job, Kevin Stefanski.
But he could be a head coach, though.
Yeah, but we're going to fall into the trap of what keeps happening, where we have an offensive coordinator for a year, and then he does great, and then he goes to be a head coach somewhere. I think Kevin Stefanski would be – it wouldn't be outside of the realm of possibility that he goes, hey, let me go be a play caller for a season. Let me, get some confidence back. Let me be on a good, successful team. Maybe see – the aura around this building was terrible this season, but if we're doing things on offense, let me be around that kind of environment, and soak that in, go for somewhere next year. Now, my second option was Cliff Kingsbury. I would also be a fan of that. Mike McDaniel, probably third on the list, but those are my 1, 2, 3. I would love all those guys to take the position. Kevin Stefanski, though, that would be awesome. But the problem is I don't want to fall into the trap of losing an offense coordinator.
Well, it's not that. I think Kevin Stefanski is going to get a head coaching opportunity in this cycle. So I think if he has a chance to be a head coach or the Eagles offense coordinator, and depending on the franchise, he may or may not take the Eagles job, but I would assume he's going to be a head coach. It would be my guess.
Well, and I think too, it's like maybe, because like we just went through the list. There's maybe 2 good jobs on the list, maybe 3. And he was already just in a pretty terrible situation, which he won Coach of the Year like twice.
Yeah.
With.
Well, I think that if I'm the Titans, I call him just because of, having Cam Ward, his ability to call plays, he had Joe Flacco off the couch and went to the playoffs.
Exactly.
So that's where I would go with that. The Cardinals, I honestly have no idea where they're going to go. I don't think anybody knows where they're going to – I don't even think the Cardinals know what they're going to do. The Giants, I think, want John Harbaugh. I think
that was the first team.
Maybe interviewing them today.
Yeah.
With them today, and they were going to try to not have him leave the building. The Falcons, I got no clue. The Browns, I don't really know. Steelers, like I said, Brian Flores. Ravens, Jesse Minter. Dolphins, I'm telling you, Chris Shula. I think that they're going to do that, which is Don Shula's grandson. He's with the Rams as a defensive coordinator. I believe all day that the Dolphins are going to bring him back. The Raiders, Raiders are tough. I feel like maybe Kevin Stefanski, Brian Flores is maybe involved there um, with the Patriot connection.
Mm.
Brian Flores with Tom Brady. That one would be interesting. And then the Titans, if I'm the Titans, I hire Kevin Stefanski. So, I don't know what the Raiders do then, who they go and get. There's not a lot of crazy, crazy guys out on the market, I would say. Maybe Robert Saleh gets a job coming off of, being with the Jets, now back with the 49ers. So, yeah, I don't know. It's going to be very, very
I
interesting.
love how Matt Nagy was like the forerunner for coach positions, and all these head coaches got fired, and he's just not even in the conversation anymore.
Yeah, I mean, he could probably be a dark horse for one of these teams,
Yeah.
based off of, I mean, he did take the Bears to the playoffs twice. It just fell off there at the end. So we will see there. Uh, Johnson says Harbaugh to Pittsburgh, Tomlin to the Ravens after seeing meeting they would swap. That'd be hilarious.
I know. I feel like they're too similar, and I feel like if A, Steelers get Harbaugh, or B, Ravens get Tomlin, you should have just kept your coach.
They're
I
too
mean,
old.
I know,
They're too.
I know, Tomlin stepped down, but I think honestly, you should have just,
They're too old. They don't. This is what they're gonna do. They're too old. They're gonna give you about 15, 20 years, and then you're out the door. Time to move on. That's exactly. They're gonna go young. Brian Flores is 44. I think Jesse Minter is 40 or something like that. So they're going to give those two guys. Those two guys are going to get these jobs just based off being young and the ability to be there for 10, 15 plus years. Mike Tomlin's going to go into TV for a year probably. Test that out. He's probably going to end up on CBS.
I think he'd be great at that.
With Bill Cowher, because Matt Ryan is now running the Falcons. So he's leaving CBS. So I expect him to go to CBS for a year and then check out the landscape. Him stepping down he's just like, I want to break. I want to get away.
Yeah.
So, and he's going to check out the landscape. Mike Tomlin, look, he could be like a Bill Cowher and just step away and never come back. So maybe
I think he'd be really good at TV.
I think he'd be good at TV too. He's one of those guys that's just, I don't know. My memory of Mike Tomlin growing up was just, he was like the cool coach.
Yeah. He's a good communicator. He's relatable. He's funny. I think he'd be great at it. And he's super knowledgeable, obviously.
Yeah.
I think he'd be really good at it. Obviously, it's not like I think he still has some coaching left in him that if he wanted to, he could do it. But if he hung it up and just wanted to be on TV, dude, I think he'd be great at it.
Yeah, he's still only 53, so I think that's the crazy thing.
Yeah.
So no, we'll see as these interviews continue to go on, and the longer some of these teams would go without a coach, they're looking for assistants that are still in the playoffs as the playoffs go on. So that's just kind of how that works. All right, moving on to the divisional round of the playoffs. 4 games, 4 interesting matchups. This kicks off Saturday at 4:30 on CBS. Bills at Broncos, and like I said, Sean McDermott may be coaching for his job. It may be Super Bowl or bust for Sean McDermott. When you look at it, Broncos are a 1.5-point favorite, which is very interesting coming off the bye as the number 1 seed. I don't know. I mean, this is Josh Allen versus the Broncos. I mean, that's exactly what it is. It was Josh Allen versus the Jaguars, and he won that one. How much more can he do? Saturday night, 8 p.m. on Fox. 49ers at Seahawks, a rematch here. Seahawks are 7-point favorite.
Oh, dude. So I saw something kind of funny. It's kind of crazy. So I guess I'm not a scientist, but I guess that like electric waves or whatever do something to tendons and muscles where it like weakens them. And they showed a Google map, and there is an electrical power plant directly next to the 49ers practice field.
Yeah, I saw some. I didn't understand. I didn't go into it, but I saw the map thing of it.
Yeah, and so what they're basically saying is that the 49ers are far above everyone else in the league when it comes to like hamstring injuries, ACL injuries, Achilles injuries. So what they're saying is that this like electric whatever power plant or whatever is like emitting these waves that are actively weakening the muscles of their players and is basically the reason that they're having so many injuries. Which, if you look at it, there's probably not true, but it is weird how much more significantly they get injured.
Yeah.
Do you remember gosh, I can't remember who it was, but that linebacker who was running onto the field.
Greenlaw.
Yes, during the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
And he's running onto the field to go on defense, and he tears his ACL or his Achilles or something.
His Achilles.
It's so, I mean, so it is a weird kind of conspiracy thing or whatever, but like, what is the reason then? Why do the 49ers suffer so many more injuries?
I didn't think about that. The 49ers this season have had 72 different players appear on injury reports at some point in the 2025 season, which is the most in the NFL. These are significant injuries. George Kittle, Achilles,
yeah. Brandon Ayuk never touched the field.
Brandon Ayuk has yet to touch the field after tearing his ACL.
Yeah.
Ricky Pearsall has been dealing with injuries all year.
I'm sure Juwan Jennings has.
I know
Mac Jones or Brock Purdy. He was hurt a bunch this year.
Yeah. Christian McCaffrey's had the problem with the calves.
I can't believe that didn't kill him. Like, Christian McCaffrey was like the most injury-prone person ever, and I cannot believe he didn't die going to 49ers.
Who's their linebacker?
Fred Warner.
Fred Warner's injured. Nick Bosa has been injured all season.
I'm telling you, dude, they got to move that practice field. Even if it's not true, you got to do it. You got to get away from that thing.
I mean, I saw that, but I didn't like look into it.
Yeah, it's crazy. If that is like, I mean, yeah, correlation. What is it? Correlation isn't always causation, but there's some weird stuff happening with 49ers, man.
Yeah, so George Kittle torn Achilles, Fred Warner broken/dislocated ankle, Nick Bosa torn ACL, Mikael Williams, who was their first-round pick, tore his ACL. Juwan Jennings has been playing with multiple injuries throughout the season. Yeah, I mean, they have like 4 or 5 more serious injuries on their roster.
I'm laughing. I'm not laughing at these dudes, but it's the amount. To me, it is like, what in the world? And how serious they are, too. It's not like, pulled hammy or whatever. It's like torn ACL, torn Achilles.
Yeah, there's like 4 major season enders on there, not including Brandon Ayuk for this season. So they have 5 like starters that are not playing because of like serious injuries.
Yeah. And they're all everybody's like just related too.
And everybody's just like, oh, they're just old. Well, maybe that's not the case.
Dude, get away from that place, dude. Whatever is happening.
Here we go. This guy Trevor just brings the heat.
Thank you. It's either that or it's like a black magic spell on them, dude.
Or it's Kyle Shanahan doing it on purpose to show how good of a coach he is.
Ooh, yeah. This game is going to be interesting. It's a bit of a rematch from the NFC West Championship. I think the 49ers are going to fraud check the Seahawks this game.
Well, so Kyle Shanahan, every time he's made the playoffs, has at least made the NFC Championship game. Either he misses the playoffs or he gets to the NFC Championship. Yeah. Sam Darnold is Sam Darnold. He's gotten this far, but last year in the playoffs against the Rams, he was not very good. I mean, the 49ers, them going on the road beating the Eagles with Kyle Juszczyk as like their number 1 wide receiver is just ridiculous. No, I mean, look, and this is the other thing too. Mike McDonald is the Seahawks coach. I don't even know if people could tell you who he is.
Yeah, that's a good point. I don't know if you would have asked me right now if I could tell you. I might have said Pete Carroll.
So he's a good coach, but never been in this situation. First time in the playoffs. It's only his second year as a head coach. First time in the playoffs. Gets the bye, number 1 seed. You have all that going for you. So yeah, this would be interesting. 7 points to me is a big number for it. So
what is it? Seahawks are 7-point favorite.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. I don't like
so yeah, I mean, look, I don't know. This game, it's going to be interesting. I think it'll be a close game, but yeah, I don't know. I probably would lead in the 49ers too. Looking at that, and then Sunday we have the Texans at the Patriots. Patriots are a 3-point favorite. Texans coming off that win against the Steelers, 30-6. the defense is a show. I mean, there's
Yeah.
C.J. Stroud's walking off the field yelling and screaming at Steelers fans.
Yeah,
Bro, you did nothing. You had like 3 or 4 turnovers.
He had 2 fumbles lost, and he had an interception.
Yeah, you were like, oh my God, C.J. Stroud. I said, it doesn't even matter how bad he plays because the defense is so good.
Yeah.
And they ended up winning the game 30-6. Not thanks to him. So that game's gonna be interesting. Just the defense, man. It's just so hard to go against that Texans defense. Drake May didn't look great against the Chargers.
Yeah.
And the Texans defense is much better. So that will be interesting.
What the Texans, I remember talking to you guys, what the Texans were able to do to Josh Allen and the Bills and opened my eyes to how good they really are.
Yeah, no, they're good. I mean, they have 2 good pass rushers. They got 2 good corners. D'Amico Ryans, they're flying all over the place. Yeah, I mean, that game's going to be one of those where it's like, look, if they can get to Drake May, it's probably over. It does not matter what C.J. Stroud does.
Well, and the thing is, like you said, they have 2 good edge or pass rushers. It's like when you have 2 good pass rushers, you really end up having like 4 or 5 because they take so much attention.
Yeah.
And so much planning around those guys that it opens up other guys. I remember last year for the Eagles Super Bowl, we had these great pass rushers, but like then it was like, dude, you didn't even know who they were getting sacked because all the attention goes to the guys, that are usually making the plays.
Yeah, so that would be very, very interesting. Woody Marks also had 100 yards rushing for the Texans.
Yeah, I did see
that got going a little bit. And then the Sunday night cap-off is the Rams, minus 3.5-point favorite at the Bears, 6:30 p.m. on NBC. It's going to be cold. The Rams, the last 10 games outside have not been good. But, everybody's like, the Bears defense, they have to play good. No shit. If you watch the Bears game all season, they're like, everybody I've heard on the radio is like, the Bears defense is the key to this game. Yeah, no shit. They have pieced together with what they can. They still need to add a lot of pieces, via the draft or free agency. Dennis Allen's done good with what he has. I mean, they've had injuries as well. So, yeah, no shit, the Bears defense is the key to this.
Well, and I think, too, I'm a Bears fan right now, dude.
Well, what I like is Stafford outside in the cold and the Rams outside in the cold. Usually get a lot of turnovers, and the Bears force turnovers. We didn't get any last game, so we're due.
Yeah.
So I think it's going to be – people think it's going to be a shootout. I don't know if it's going to be a shootout just because of the weather. The Rams' defensive line is really good, so it'll be interesting to see that go up against the Bears. But their second – I mean, they allowed 30 points to the Panthers.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I mean, I feel good just based off the weather for the Bears. I guess it's 78 today in LA, and it was 76 yesterday. And I guess the Bears have practiced outside all season.
Good.
Ben Johnson's forced them all season. And
Good.
Kevin Byron's like, guys hated it. Now it's paying off.
Yeah.
So that's very, very interesting. Johnson says kid show. That's for, well, this is YouTube. Thankfully, that's why we do this on YouTube. We can do whatever we want. We just hold a child's program. So, So I mean, these games will be. It's gonna be fun. It's gonna be last playoff games were good until the last 2. So hopefully.
What in your mind is the worst case scenario Super Bowl most like the one you just cared the least about? Mine is
Texans Seahawks.
I was gonna say the same thing, but I'm also thinking the Broncos Seahawks.
No, because you have Sean Payton.
Yeah. But Texans, dude, I love that defense. But I think, dude, I agree. It's Texans Seahawks. I love that defense. C.J. Stroud, dude, to me is just not it, man.
Because here's the storylines: the Bills make it to the Super Bowl. Josh Allen, the Bills make it back. Finally, man. The Broncos, it's Sean Payton returns to the Super Bowl with another quarterback, Bo Nix. Broncos are back. 49ers is how the hell have they made it here?
Yeah.
With all the injuries they have. Kyle Shanahan, best coach in the NFL, question mark.
Yep.
Seahawks will be Sam Darnold goes from backup to starter to
Super Bowl champion superstar now.
Yeah. The Texans is how the hell has this terrible offense made it with this great all-time defense?
His defense wins championships.
Patriots is Tom Brady 2.0.
They're
back. Mike Vrabel, all they needed was a little bit of this and that.
Yeah.
The Rams is Matthew Stafford. Is this going to be his last game?
Yeah.
This could be Sean McVay's last game as a coach. He talked about retiring after they won the last Super Bowl 5 years ago. And then the Bears is like, they're here. The Bears have
Here,
made it back.
baby.
First time since 2006 they've been in the Super Bowl. Ben Johnson in his first year. So to me, it's the Seahawks Texans would be disgusting.
I agree. I was gonna say Broncos or Seahawks. I agree. Texans Seahawks would be the worst.
Johnson says, "What were the colors in the Super Bowl logo?" I forget. I think it's like purple and reddish, maybe.
This year,
Yeah, because usually you can determine that.
because the NFL's rigged.
Well, usually the teams are similar to the logo. It's Super Bowl 60, right?
I just looked up 2026. It's like a pink. There's yellow. There's blue. There's like some red, but not like a buffalo blue or maybe ramish blue, and then like and 49ers. No.
Yeah, there is red. Well, the 49ers would be at home for that game.
Yeah.
There's no orange whatsoever.
No, that sucks.
There's pretty much every other color but orange. There's white, blue, green, yellow, red, pink.
The 49ers got some like yellow in there. It's like a gold, but it's
Yeah.
like a yellow.
Based off of this, yeah, I'm looking at it. Based off of this, the Super Bowl is going to be Rams, Bills. Because there's yellow for the Rams, and then there's red for the Bills.
And blue and white.
And there's blue and white.
Dang, Rams, Bills. We're calling it now.
Because last year's logo was green and red. I mean, it's pretty obvious.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I'm going to go with Bills and Rams probably, just based off the logo. I do not think the Rams are going to get out of Chicago this weekend alive. It's just my opinion.
Well, I won't be cheering for them. I'm a Bears guy from here on out.
I agree with that based off the logo. Yeah. So I'm going to go with Rams, Bills. But, yeah, to me, the grossest matchup would be Seahawks, Texans. No one's going to care about that.
Yeah.
All right. Moving on to college football now. This is where we'll end our show. Moving forward with college football. Dante Moore is going back to Oregon. Be like those idiots that talk on TikTok. Do you know about this theory?
Are you surprised that Dante Moore stayed?
No, I thought he was coming back. He has only 20 starts, and there's the NFL Bill Parcells thing where it's like you need at least 25 starts in college to be a successful quarterback in the NFL. So, yeah, I mean, he was looked at as like top 2 pick, maybe the number 1 quarterback that really faded after he lost to the Indiana Hoosiers and Fernando Mendoza last week. So he's going back to Oregon. Look, he's only 20 years old. He's been he started a little bit UCLA as a freshman. He's a highly touted 5-star from Detroit, Martin Luther King High School, actually. Highly touted, was committed to Oregon verbally and then decommitted verbally and then went to UCLA, signed, played there for a year, and then transferred to Oregon last year, sat behind Dylan Gabriel, and then played this year, and he's going to come back. But not shocked.
But to be fair, I don't know. I think maybe it was Mel Kiper or one of the ratings. They had him as the second best quarterback in this draft class.
Yeah, I mean, I see that based off of talent, but the way he played in that last game, he's not ready.
Yeah, I think that also might have been before last game. So this could be old news.
Yeah, so, no, he's coming back. There was a lot of people that thought he'd come back. I mean, he's probably making $6 million to come back to play for Oregon. So, based off of the market. So, no, like I said, nothing too crazy. My dog is going crazy upstairs.
I didn't want to bring it up. But.
Yep, no, we can hear it. Can someone shut that dog up?
Mom, the meatloaf!
I don't know what's going on out there, but it's ridiculous. Anytime they're trying to watch a show or do something, they're telling the dog to shut up. I'm sitting down here trying to do a show, and the dog's just going ridiculous. Jeez.
Oh, my God, and it just stopped. They just killed that dog?
No, I don't think it. No, she's old, but I don't think she's. I didn't think we took her behind the shed. All right, now moving on to what some people would classify as dogs in college.
Yeah.
The transfer portal. This stuff's been hot, man. This is, we did the thing last week with how much money they thought would be,
Did your mom just say sorry?
I think my sister did.
Oh.
would be thrown around. How much these quarterbacks would get, blah, 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 blah. Supposedly Ty Simpson, who is going to the draft, he says he's going to the draft. He may not end up in the draft. You never know. Supposedly some teams are coming after him for like $6.5 million.
Ooh, you got to take it. Come on, pal. Come
Miami, Tennessee. So when you look at the first guy here on the list, Sam Leavitt, the Arizona State quarterback, number 1 overall player in the portal by 24/7 Sports. He ends up picking LSU. Now, this is funny because when he was on his visit to Tennessee, Lane Kiffin actually went to Tennessee to meet with him in Knoxville. And then he ends up picking LSU, and then Tennessee was still trying to get him to come to Tennessee.
Dang,
but he ends up picking LSU. So he's going from Arizona State to LSU. I'm sure he's going to get at least $7 million. So the number 1 overall player is going to LSU. DJ Lagway there, Florida to Baylor. Old Miss tried to get him as well when they figured out Trinidad wasn't going to be able to get a 6-year. He's the number 4 overall quarterback. He's number 1 overall player coming out of high school 2 years ago. DeMond Williams Jr., he's returning to Washington after they did not allow him to go into the portal. Shocker. See what happens when you sign a contract and you're binded to that contract?
Yeah, man.
So he's not leaving Washington. Dylan Raiola is going from Nebraska to Oregon.
Yeah, so when we talked about this before the show, Dylan Raiola in my head was older than he actually is. So he has a chance to sit here, let Dante Moore leave, and then play again.
Yes.
If he redshirts, right?
Yeah, he'll have to redshirt. I think I want to say he's a sophomore this year. Could have been a junior, but he's most likely going to redshirt. Basically do what Dante Moore did. Sit a year, redshirt, not play. He also broke his leg, so he's going to heal that. So basically he's going to go there, sit. He's fine with sitting. He's going to compete for the job, but he's fine with sitting. Basically. Yeah, he's played 2 years, so he'll be a junior next year. He can redshirt, be a redshirt junior, then still have 2 years of eligibility left if he wanted to. He was another highly touted quarterback coming out as well.
Dude, we're sitting here talking all this crap about the dude. I thought he was like a senior. This dude, I think he can be pretty good at Oregon.
Yeah, no, he's still only 20, so that's kind of the goal. Oregon is continuing on the transfer portal quarterback. So we'll see how that goes. Deuce Knight there is going from Auburn to Ole Miss. You know, he was a highly touted quarterback coming out last year. Got to play a little bit for Auburn, but now going to Ole Miss with, Trinidad Chambliss having to go to the draft. And then that guy there at the end, who the hell is that kid? Hanson Longstreet. That just sounds like the fakest name.
Yeah.
Hanson Longstreet is going from USC to LSU. He was a 5-star recruit coming out of high school. I think he was a freshman this past year. I don't fully know what happened here. Some people are alleging that Lane Kiffin got him to come out to the portal to kind of develop under him and then be a starter next year. Others were saying he figured out that he wasn't going to start. You know, Jade Mayava said he was coming back. Jade Mayava said he was coming back like 2 months ago to USC. And now all of a sudden it's like, oh, yeah, he knows he's not going to come out now and be the starter.
Lane Kiffin's that devil on your shoulder, man.
Yeah, I mean, Lane's everywhere, man. I mean, he wants to get the best. He's self-proclaims himself the portal king. So, yeah, he was a freshman this year and, is looked at to be highly touted. So it'll be very interesting to see what he does. He'll obviously sit this year and then end up being the quarterback for LSU.
There you go. It's kind of funny, too, because you kind of talked about the Oregon kind of system of getting a transfer quarterback or whatever. I think there's almost a benefit to like not even going after these, high school quarterbacks and just waiting on some senior who's played 30 games already to come to your team and have all that.
Well, there's no guarantee the freshman's going to stay, right? Longstreet there.
He's gone, man. He's gone.
He came in as a freshman last year, sat, and now he's going to go sit somewhere else. Why don't you just sit at USC and then be the starter at USC? I mean, that's the weird thing, right? It's like, what is it? So there's
That
no
devil on his shoulder.
Well, that's why a lot of people are like, I don't even look at recruiting rankings anymore because there's no guarantee any of these kids are going to stay.
Right. Yeah.
So-
Yeah. If they're really good and they're young, they're gonna leave and go to somewhere, unless you're like one of the premier locations. But even then,
Stuff. You may still lose kids.
yeah.
All right, now we go to other key offensive transfers here. Hollywood Smothers, we told you last week. NC State to Bama. No. NC State to Bama to Texas. Texas really wanted a running back. They lost, I think, 4 or 5 in the portal. And now they ended up getting Hollywood Smothers. Number 2 overall running back. Justice Haynes, Michigan running back, is going to Georgia Tech. Number 4 overall running back. He was a very good running back this year. Had a lot of breakout runs, big play potential, ended up getting hurt, wasn't able to finish out the year. Luke Hoxie told me, was it last night or the night before, that Georgia Tech was this kid's school. So he was right on
it. Luke, he's not wrong a lot.
No, Luke Shefty was right on it. So
yeah.
I don't know if it came down to money or whatever kind of happened there, but he's getting the bag from what I heard down there at Georgia Tech. Cam Coleman, number 1 overall wide receiver, is going from Auburn to Texas. Texas is showing out big money here. They're trying to put a team around Arch, trying to make the playoff and trying to do their thing. Cam Coleman, coming out of high school, was a 5-star number 1 overall wide receiver last year. So highly sought after target. Isaiah Horton is going from Bama to A&M. He's number 2 overall wide receiver. Texas oil money.
That oil money.
Can't beat the oil money. Reed Harris there is going from Boston College to Arizona State. So Arizona State has got Omarion Miller at wide receiver and now Reed Harris at wide receiver. Reed Harris is number 4 overall, and Omarion Miller, we talked about last week, is number 1 overall. Or number 2 overall.
You see what being in the Big 12 and making big moves does for you. You get blown out of Oregon in the quarterfinals or semifinals or whatever.
And we'll see. We'll see there. Reed Harris is massive. He's 6'5", so it'll be interesting to see how it works. And then the number 1 tight end, J.J. Buchanan, is going from Utah to Michigan, of course, following his coach, Kyle Winningham. So Michigan's got quite a few guys from Utah following their coach. But J.J. Buchanan, tight end, he wears a little shiesty action there.
And Utah, wearing a shiesty in Utah is actually diabolical.
Yeah, it is. So
they're gonna get like Wild West vibes and start thinking this is going to be something at high noon.
I can only imagine what Ann Arbor's going to do to him. Keep him away from 8 Mile. Now to defensive transfers, Chaz Coleman. I do not believe any relation to Cam Coleman, none at all. Is going from Penn State to Tennessee, number 1 overall edge. I think he was a freshman last year, so he's still got a lot of eligibility. Amarius Williams is going from Auburn to Georgia. He's the number 5 overall edge. The number 1 overall defensive tackle is going from Alabama to Ohio State. Could you believe in a world that Alabama would be losing defensive tackles to Ohio State? That's just crazy.
The world we live in now.
It is. Xavier Gilman is also following his teammate Chaz Coleman from Penn State to Tennessee as a number 2 interior defensive lineman. Rajmeen Biles is going from Pitt to Texas, number 2 linebacker. There was some thought he was going to go to Michigan, and then Texas kind of swooped in. I don't know if Luke Hoxie's got any scoop on that, but that'd be great.
Yeah.
What kind of happened there? And then Coy Perch is going from Minnesota to Oregon. He's the number 1 safety.
Oh, yes, I've heard about this guy.
He's a Minnesota kid growing up. Now supposedly he's chasing the bag.
What else is a Minnesota guy supposed to do?
Yeah, I mean, what are you supposed to do? I mean, sit there in the land of the lakes and just do something all day? I mean, come on. I mean, I'd be chasing the bag too if I were him.
Yeah, to get out of Minnesota.
He's been there his whole life. But it's like he's going from Minnesota to Oregon. It feels like it's very similar. Very similar.
Kind of a lateral move there,
very landscape. All right, these are the top remaining transfers. Some of these just happened within the last 24 hours. The top one there, Jordan
Colorado
Seaton.
boy?
Yeah, left tackle from Colorado. He's the number 1 tackle coming out of high school. He's the number 1 tackle in the transfer portal. He's a 5-star. They have him as a 5-star transfer. I think he is he's a sophomore this past year, so There's potential for him to. I don't know where he's going to go. It feels maybe Texas, Ohio State. One of the big dogs are going to throw the bag at him.
Mm-hmm.
But this is some dents in Deion Sanders' armor maybe,
Ooh.
losing some of these kids. I've never I told you this before the show. I've never seen this. The next guy on the list, Damon Wilson II.
The second, baby.
How many people call themselves the second?
Maybe do they call themselves the second when there's a third?
That's a great question.
Maybe he's got a son or something, and they're the third, and so he's the second.
Maybe because he's got the two dash, the two things. So he's the Mizzou edge. So Jerry's losing his Mizzou edge.
Dang.
He's viewed as a number 2 edge in the whole transfer portal. So Damon Wilson II. We're gonna have to ask Jerry about that.
Yeah,
because it's very rare do you see the second. To your point, he may have a kid. And then the two guys in the middle, the Desire brothers.
Yeah.
They are desiring to go somewhere far from Florida State. You have Mandrell and Dariel. Both.
Do you think they'll go to the same team?
I'm assuming that they're going to go to the same school. I think they're freshmen this year, so they're have eligibility. We'll see. They're the number 3 and number 4 edges in the entire transfer portal. And then the big man there, Terrence Green. Why are you leaving Oregon if your name's Green? Come on. That's perfect. Terrence Green's defensive tackle. I want to say he's one of the top 5 defensive tackles in the portal. I think a top 25 overall player.
Oh, wow.
Looking at it. So he is leaving Oregon. So it's a lot of big men left there. And like I said, the portal closes Friday.
Well, and if we think too, kind of how we broke down things financially last week, maybe, you get the guys you're going to spend the big money on first, and then that those guys who cost a little bit less money might still be sitting around waiting for someone to come get them.
Yeah, maybe. Or, some of these teams, like, Oregon could have been like, they played last week, so they're trying to figure out their NIL deals with their guys, and they weren't able to re-sign them, so now they're leaving.
Yeah.
When you look at all that. So, yeah, it's interesting. I don't think there's any crystal balls for any of these guys on 24/7. As of right now, when I look at it,
like Mario Cristobal?
No, they do. No, they do like predictions.
Oh, okay.
They predict. That's what they call it, is a crystal ball. No, not for the Seton guy, not for Wilson II, not for the Desire kids, not for Terrence Green. So still up in the air. They have 2 days to decide where they're going to college. Restart the process. And then moving on to the team that had a slow start. Everybody was going crazy. This is where patience is key sometimes, Notre Dame fans. Trust the process. You got to trust the process. You got to see how the money shakes out around there. Ends up being one of the best classes. I think 24/7 is viewing it as, with the transfer class and the recruiting class, the number 1 overall class.
Wow.
Which is big. The first name right there on the list, you see there, Quincy Porter, wide receiver from Ohio State, is number 44 overall player in the transfer portal. He was a 5-star last year. This is one of those things where Ohio State fans are like, nah, he wasn't going to play. No big deal. Like, that's why he left. It's like, no, you lost a 5-star wide receiver.
Yeah.
Which notoriously you didn't lose those under Brian Hartline. Francis Brew, defensive tackle for Pitt. That was the biggest need Notre Dame needed, was interior defensive lineman. Defensive lineman in general. Francis Brew is number 52 overall player. He was very good. He had a good game against Notre Dame, even though Jeremiah Love showed out. They asked Freeman that. He's like, I watched him up close and personal. He looked like a freak. The next guy on the list, Keon Keeley. This is an interesting one. Edge rusher from Alabama, number 58 overall prospect. So Keon Keeley, coming out of high school 3 or 4 years ago, was a 5-star kid, was verbally committed to Notre Dame. He verbally committed at the time. He was like a 4-star. He commits to Notre Dame. Throughout his tape of his senior year, he jumps up to a 5-star. Ends up decommitting, then going to Alabama. Nick Saban then leaves. He stays at Alabama, and now he comes back to Notre Dame. So basically saying, like, I may have made a mistake going down.
Yeah.
So he comes back to Notre Dame, which is very exciting because he's one that got away years ago, and him coming back is very good. Jaden Sanders was a freshman cornerback from Michigan. He's a number 94 overall player. I don't think played much for Michigan, but adds some depth to Notre Dame, and he's a younger corner, so he's still got a lot of eligibility left. DJ McKinney's a cornerback from Colorado. They have him as a 4-star transfer. I guess coming in before the season, he was viewed as maybe a first-round pick. He's a senior. He played on the other side of Travis Hunter, so I don't know if that's people are like, oh, he looks good playing on the other side there. So he'll add great depth playing with Leonard Moore, which is the number 1 overall corner in college football. So they have a chance to have some really good corners. Mylan Graham there, wide receiver from Ohio State. He's also another former 5-star wide receiver that Ohio State is losing. And then that man there for Oregon is not officially with Notre Dame, but he's crystal balled to Notre Dame. Prediction that he's going to go to Notre Dame, and that is Tyon Gray, defensive lineman from Oregon, number 17 overall player, 6'6", like 300 pounds.
Yes.
So Notre Dame's just look. It was slow going, but look at them now.
Look at them now.
They're going all in. This is the thing, is they're legitimately going all in to win a national title. Because historically Notre Dame tries to get freshmen or graduate players in the transfer portal. This year they got a bunch of guys with a lot of extra eligibility.
And we talked about the point you made with the admissions.
No, so that's the point I'm getting to now is now them and the head of admissions, Mark Freeman talked about that today. It was like the head of admissions has been a very big help with us. They go to every dean of every school and figure out how to get these guys to come in with their credits and everything. And Notre Dame is now accepting more credits from these schools to allow these kids to come in. So they are like full force behind Marcus Freeman and building a championship team.
Yeah, you said the last time they did that was with Lou Holtz.
Lou Holtz, yes. I think it's because Indiana is so good.
Yeah.
And I think Notre Dame, as much as they want to admit that they're more than just a football school, I think Indiana being good at football has made them realize we need to win.
Yeah.
There's no reason why we're not winning. Let's go win.
Yeah.
And they have the quarterback who's returning. So
yeah, you see what Indiana has done from basically nothing in 2 years to being, potentially going on like what, 16-0 or 15-0 or whatever. So, Notre Dame has, a lot of the pieces that they needed to win a championship. Obviously, I would say that you would probably say that they're lacking on some aspects of defensively.
Yeah.
So it seems like they're kind of plugging those holes right now. So I agree with you. It looks like they're saying, hey, we need to be for real about winning if we're going to, call ourselves a football school. We got to be for real because there's people doing it in 2 years.
Well, that's the thing. And the other thing, too, is they have the quarterback. I think that's the biggest thing. They have C.J. Carr, who as of right now is like tied for first or second in Heisman Trophy odds for next year. I've already put a future in on him to win it next year. So that's the biggest thing is they have a quarterback. So, they have a quarterback. They have an offensive line. They kind of feel like, there is great pieces on defense. There's young defensive linemen, but there needed to be some interior depth. I mean, they have a first-rounder, bona fide top 5 pick on defense and Leonard Moore in the corner. Tay Johnson was just a freshman last year. He'll be a first-round pick. So there's guys all over the place with talent. They have the talent. So this is just them proving, like, hey, we want to keep Marcus Freeman here as a coach. And 2, we're going to win some football games. And, look, I know the Southern people, the SEC schools, are mad now because everybody can pay players, and the North has a little bit more money than those Southern schools. And Notre Dame is just saying, hey, this is what we're going to do. This is Northern football now. We can get the best guys to come play here. No reason against it. So, yeah, it's just very interesting. Creepy Photo says, don't tease me, Caleb. My God, what a masterclass by Freeman. John says they are ranked 15, come down. Yeah, the transfer portal class is ranked 15. But when you add the freshman class with the transfer portal class, it's a very elite group coming in. And like Freeman said, he goes, we're still going to major in recruiting. We want to develop. And we're going to minor in the transfer portal. And he also said the GM did a great job because the GM is from the NFL. And he said that, when Freeman wanted to go all out the first couple of days and like, let's sign everybody, let's get these guys. And he was like, calm down. You got to see how the money shakes out and kind of where guys are going to go. And he said that's very much an NFL approach. So it's, I don't know. It's just exciting because, there were a few days there where these guys were going off the board and everybody's like, oh, Notre Dame was in on him. Or he was supposed to visit Notre Dame. People like, they couldn't even get him on campus. And then they come back with this masterclass. And it's just, it's been fun.
Yeah. What a joy for us Notre Dame fans.
Right. That's right. I mean, it's pretty much what we do. We try to win games and do our best.
Yeah. And that's all you can do at the end of the day.
Yeah. I mean, it's just a new world now. You get to, I tell people all the time, nobody has more money than Notre Dame when it comes to stuff. And they're just, showing what they have. All the northern schools, Michigan, Ohio State, Indiana. I mean, if the SEC didn't have oil money, they wouldn't be getting some of these kids.
Yeah. Well, you know what? This is it's an uplifting moment for looking towards next season. The way this past season ended for us Notre Dame boys, it's it's nice looking forward into the next season with some hope.
No, it is. I mean, with hope and a roster that should dominate.
Yes.
Is the goal. But yeah, we'll be back Sunday. We'll have to figure out the time because we usually do like 6:45, but the Bears play at 6:30.
Uh-oh. Oh, no, you guys can't do a podcast while your team is playing? Oh, no. Give me a break.
I don't want to do that, no.
So you're telling me if Jerry was an Eagles fan, we could have moved the time?
Well, in my defense, usually that 4:30 game is over by the time that we play. Or there's a little time left.
Yeah, there's like a whole half left.
Yeah. For these playoff games at 4:30, they're playing till 8 o'clock.
Yeah.
It's not my fault.
It's not your fault. It's not your fault. I didn't mean to take it out on you, Caleb, but no, it's not your fault.
It's not my fault that my team's still in and your team is.
Oh, right here. This is what we're not going to do, man.
It's not my fault.
This is what we're not going to do. We're not going to sit here and do the your team's in, my team's out. We were an alliance. There's no reason to talk nasty towards one another.
No, I mean, it's just what I was saying is we didn't have Kevin Statulo or whatever the hell his name is calling plays.
Right.
Nobody would have went anywhere with that guy.
Yeah, thank you. He's
a train wreck.
He is a train wreck. He is terrible.
Someone needs to his house.
And he talked what? He talked to you into saying that about my Eagles?
No, I just thought about it. That's why I thought about it. Because it's funny because you've had so much success and I haven't. So it's nice when you can talk a little bit. I have that right.
Well, I never did that to you one time.
No,
I've
but
never looked down on Bears fans one time. We were brothers in arms, and now this is what we're doing now? We're going to turn into arch rivals?
No, we're not arch rivals. I mean, there's a rivalry there, but it's not arch rivals.
There's not a rivalry. We're an alliance.
Well, see how next year.
Is it because of the double doink?
That, and didn't they play in the 80s and 90s a lot?
Dude, I don't know. I was freaking not alive, dude.
I don't know. I'm just saying. I think that there's a rivalry there.
I don't think so. I think we're brothers in arms against, the Packers and the Cowboys of the world.
Well, that is very true. I do agree on that.
And now Lions. I have recently, so I watched the Bears-Packers game with a bunch of Lions fans. They're
the worst.
They're insufferable.
They're the worst. That's all I heard for the last 4 years.
They climbed out of the rocks 3 years ago.
Yeah.
And now they're like the experts on football now.
Yeah.
But then, I mean, it is nice to be like, hey, dude, your team didn't even make the playoffs. What are you talking about?
Yeah.
I don't know if I brought this up. I was with a Packers fan, a Bears fan, and 3 Lions fans. And it was amazing watching that game with those people around.
No, it's Lions fans are just they've had a nice run the couple of years.
Yeah.
And it's been fun to watch. But it's with any fan base though when a team like hasn't been good and all of a sudden they're good again. It's like, oh, Rick, we're the best, but act like you've been there.
And you've never won anything. I mean, and you're sitting here talking. I mean, they were talking crap to me, dude. My team. This is before they lost. My team just won the Super Bowl last season.
Yeah.
What are we? We're not even on the same. You guys blew a playoff game. My team won the Super Bowl.
Yeah. And you guys blew out the team that blew them out in the playoffs.
Exactly, because it was just like that for us. Then we got Kevin Patullo, and I just hope. I wish he wasn't. I wish he had nothing to do. Did you see the video of the kid talking about Kevin Patullo? That he said he wished that he hopes that he goes flipping burgers at McDonald's. That's how I feel, dude.
How old is
Get this guy? He's probably 12 years old.
Shocker, a Philly fan did that.
He said because he coaches like he flips burgers. Like one half he's cooking, next half raw, baby.
I'm watching the video of the kid breaking the. I will admit it is pretty funny.
It was funny. I laughed.
He shatters. That's a big man too. I mean, he's. I have every right to say that.
Yeah, fellow big man.
As a big man, I can say that.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with that.
That is just. I mean, it shatters.
Yeah, what was originally said is that he was kind of leaning against it.
No, he's like. There's two of them sitting, and the other one's sitting on it as well. He just didn't break it. There's two kids sitting on sinks.
To be fair, this is none of my responsibility. They were at lunch. I was eating lunch, so this is all everyone else's fault.
No, I mean, I don't blame you for any of this.
Yeah.
Also, the hats in school, not a fan.
You like it the old-fashioned way.
Yeah, because we used to get chastised if you wore a hat. It was only Spirit Week, man. Only Spirit Week.
Or they can not wear their hoods, though. No hoods, but you can wear a hat.
Oh, no hoods, but you can wear a hat.
Dude, my entire day is spent telling kids to get their frickin' hoods off their head. If it's not one thing, it's the other, Caleb. That's how this stuff.
Nope, not a fan of the hats. Not a fan.
There's hats everywhere in that school.
So yeah, we'll be back sometime. We'll figure it out.
Yep.
Nope.
Apparently, we make our schedule around the Bears, not the Eagles.
And we'll have to ask Jerry what his opinion is. I would prefer to not go live during the game personally. But that's just me.
I would, yeah. That's a fair assessment. I wasn't given the same luxury last week, but
no. Well, you also walked away, so
I did. I didn't contribute a whole lot to the podcast. That is true.
No,
and like you said,
a great meltdown.
Yeah. And like you said, it did start at 4:30, not at 6:30, right when our podcast is supposed to start. So I also don't really care. I mean, we don't. I have Martin Luther King Day on Monday, so I don't have anything to do Monday. So
yeah, well, that's Jerry. Kind of what the plan is. Maybe Jerry doesn't work Monday.
Yeah, that's cool with me.
So we will figure it out, but we will be back sometime to talk about the finishing up and closing of the transfer portal, NFL Divisional Round.
Natty on Monday.
Natty is on Monday, so we will we'll figure that all out. As always, thanks for watching.
Peace.